Be- Before we restart the meeting, are there any if you do come across something, you can all speak up. We're on item 5 at the moment, which is items for discussion that came in prior to sending out of the agenda. And Councillor Dickens would like to talk about the BESS, which is in 2 parts in item 5, which is land north of Ewley Spinney, Chickerell, and the land south of Nottington Lane.
Well, 2 things that seems to be apparent to me is, one, it is against Chickerell's neighbourhood plan. That's one of them. But the second thing is a fire hazard. Even on their own publicity, lithium-ion factories seem to pose a massive fire hazard and are within 2.5 miles of housing. These things burn for a very long time, as was witnessed with Liverpool recently, and are very difficult to put out. Do we really want that to be that close to housing accommodation?
No.
No. I'm agreeing with you there.
Dorset Council.
Yeah, but I don't know, but it just appeared, because obviously I'm a new councillor, it just appeared on my list, so I don't really know the history. And if you look at the history, there is no remarks about it in the history section from anywhere. So I was a little bit confused, to put it mildly, as to why no one was speaking up against it. But we've already discussed this in good great length. No, it's fine.
Yeah, we discussed this considerably, and we didn't want it.
No, I'm sure. I can't imagine anyone does. Sorry, go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought this was passed by Dorset Council about a week ago.
I'm just going to review it to see.
Yeah.
This was company out to consultation. The plan application ends in 4.93. Is this a separate?
There was a very small area on the edge. It could be that major provisions passed.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been passed by Dorset Council.
Yeah.
We've suddenly got 2 more
Applications.
Install battery energy storage system with transformer and associated infrastructure. This is the 993 one.
The small one was turned down.
Yeah.
And then there's the other one.
The one ending in 4447 is a revised submission, so they must have made some amendments to the application. And that one's out application until the 11th again of October.
So can you get the 993 one?
Then you get location.
No, if you go up into history, go all the way up. Now you go to history. No, consultees, I do beg. There's nothing in there. When you go in, you think, oh, I'll see what the Environment Agency said.
So,
They all say no comment.
It's all coming up, nothing in there.
so the reason for that being is that we've got until the 2nd of October to reply.
Well, yeah.
The new submission, it's completely separate to the other submissions that have been made. It's not an amendment, it's not variation, it's a new submission.
Yeah.
So can I ask, are we talking now about the small one?
Well, this is the 993 one, as I term it.
That's the one
By
south
the
of
Mont
Nottington
Lucas
Lane.
football stadium.
Oh, okay, so another one down there.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I was very surprised that Dorset, DC asked the one on Chickerell, turned down the one up in Whippets, which was much smaller. I thought it was a much more appropriate plan. Yeah. So, yeah, it's small.
Chair, is this in addition to what has already been agreed in terms of the same facility service provider?
Yeah.
Or is this a totally separate one?
This is a separate. But they've already had one pass.
Right, so but it's the same company.
Yeah,
It's
same.
everything else, but they're just looking at other sites now.
Yeah, so you've got more now.
Cast the net out, as it
Yeah.
were.
Yeah. And,
Cheeky.
but because I'm not an expert on this,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I'll go and see what the Environment Agency was, and nothing.
Yeah.
Go and look at.
The fire don't say anything either.
No. So you don't know. Yes, John?
Yeah, an interest in the fact that my house is, which is just,
Yeah.
but it's not a human interest. So, just like, can I?
Well, you know the area well
I
then.
know the area well,
Continue to that.
and then can speak on that, because I'm not.
Yeah.
The, there was a report from the fire brigade that went about the major application that was passed, and they were satisfied that they could contain fires.
There was a lot of stuff about the things that they have in place to contain it,
Yes.
and all those things work fine until the day they don't. And then you're in real trouble.
Even though I live very close to it, I'm quite sympathetic, because what we have at the moment is solar farms around there. There's a solar farm. There's other solar farms. The criticism of solar is it generates in the day, and you need the power in the evening, a different time when the sun is shining. So this is where you go with battery storage. And obviously does have the occasional chance of fire. But what we've got to bear in mind is we're replacing is a gas substation. That's why on the power cables go down, there is this gas station burning gas, fossil fuel releasing carbon dioxide. So in effect, we have a fire already causing immense damage to our planet. And if we can replace it with something that uses the sun, stores the sun's energy and releases it down the same cables, we've actually cut our fire risk to the area. So
The only thing I would say on that, how do you get the lithium? Oh, we wreck the environment in another country. We force people to work in.
At the moment,
I mean, it's a double-edged sword.
it's not, there's no idea.
the chemistry, so that's entirely recyclable. It's just the industry hasn't really got to that stage yet. That lithium that they're able to do all of it under coal. But yeah, we haven't, the industry isn't there to recycle yet, but lithium is entirely recyclable as are all heavy metals.
Yeah, but it's getting them out of the ground. Causes
So-
massive problems to the
Yeah, it does.
environment.
But that will ease off because the lithium that's already there will be recycled.
The reason I'm against it is it goes against the neighbourhood plan. What is the point of asking people, what do you think, where do you go? And the neighbourhood plan is voted on by the local people. And then they come in and say, oh, we're not interested in it. Certainly am.
So just on that note, Peter. So this comes under chip rules. Sorry, was that right? That comes under chip rules neighbourhood plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of them does, definitely. I'm
One
not
of
sure
them.
about the other.
So can we use that as kind of, I don't want to say precedent, but to vote, to object to it or not?
Well, I
Can we
objected
use
to the
something-
last one, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, can we use
Yeah.
somebody else's neighbourhood plan? Because if it is in direct contradiction of their neighbourhood plan, obviously.
Is it anything to do with us, you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I just don't, you know.
Well,
It's policy, isn't it? And it's going against policy, which we can,
And do,
Yeah.
but it's how the committee, I think we've discussed it enough. Does anybody, and we've obviously got to say to Dorset Council, we object on the grounds that it doesn't meet local policy, the local neighbourhood plan.
Sorry, Chair. Point of clarity. So this is in Chippenham.
Yeah.
So why are we being asked our opinion on it?
We tend to get neighbouring,
Oh.
yeah, like Orpington, we get often things where they're neighbours,
Right.
so they send it out of.
And I beg your pardon, Chair, just for clarity, because I'm back on this committee after a number of years.
Yeah.
Do they also comment on our planning applications that potentially?
If they're sent to them by, or they might put no comment,
Okay, so are we being asked specifically for our opinion on this?
Yeah.
By DC?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, thanks.
No, that's fine, I'm sorry, Chairman,
Did-
previously as
Just
well.
one other quick question. The area of outstanding natural beauty, West Dorset. How close to Chickerell does that come?
It's because of the substation and the power lines, it goes about a mile north of Chickerell.
Yeah. I was really struggling to find that out.
It's,
Bit of it, but it's not infringing on that. Okay,
Yeah, I don't think, it's for that aspect of it, I don't think we're involved in, so there's mitigation to between you and.
Well, point of order, Chair. Point of order. You're chairing the meeting, there's a lot of objection going on, and I'm now new to it, but this is now.
I've never, because we're only a very small committee.
Sure,
Um,
yeah, the officer was speaking there and then got interrupted by a member, and then another member's come in. Come on now, let's
yeah, I understood.
follow the protocol, please.
So all I was gonna say was in regards to this application, previously a councillor that's no longer, part of this committee or a Waverley Town councillor, asked that we specifically spoke about best sites because of the potential impacts and how big they were at the time. And that's why these ones keep coming in. It doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to get all neighbouring applications or Chitwell, Portland, whoever we're going to get on applications. It's because ones of specific interest we tend to get all.
Okay.
Also, sometimes if they're right on boundary, especially when you look at areas like Lane House, Preston, we've had
Ulee's
Farm and things like that. They're right on boundary, tend to get bumps.
so the question is, are we going to object or are we going to no comment?
Propose we object
On the grounds of policy,
and
neighbourhood plan?
I propose that we support this one on the basis that my objection to the large size of Chickerell was simply that it was too big and it was in the wrong place. This is much smaller and I want many.
Well, we've got one,
Yeah, so we've got.
one. Steve needs a seconder. So I'll second it. We can then go to the vote. Yeah. On this proposal, so I don't think you could put an amendment to it.
Mhm.
Because it's,
Yeah.
yeah, so we go to the vote. All those in favour of the proposal,
Proposal is to reject the
Yeah.
application.
so that's 2 for. Those against? 2 against, are those abstentions?
casting vote.
Casting vote comes back to me. So the Weymouth Town Council Planning Committee objects on the grounds of policy.
Never seen that.
Right, would anybody else like to bring up anything else in the planning applications, item 5 that we received,
Chair, just to confirm, was that in relation to plan application in 499?
993, yeah.
Did mention at the start discussing the amending with the revised definition for 4447.
Yeah, but that's just that's already been passed, but it's, I presume, an improvement or a revised. Yeah. Anything? Anybody? Or we'll move on to items. What bus shelter?
That's fine.
Right. We can now vote on block to move the rest of item 5 into item 6. So I'll propose that we do that. Do I have a seconder?
yeah,
Yeah. Councillor Dickens, seconds. All those in favour of moving? It's unanimous. Yep. Would anybody like, we move on to item 6, would anybody like to bring up any items in item 6 which are designated as no comment? No? So then, I'll propose that we put our standard no objection comment in. All those in item seconded by councillor Ralph. All those in favour? That is passed unanimously. Right, we now move on to item 7, tree preservation orders. There are none. Item 8 is planning applications responded to under delegated powers, which are the 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 are all for tree. If I remember right, they're all to do with trees. Does anybody want to speak about any particular one, or do we just send our normal
They've already been delegated,
Yeah.
previously delegated them to us, they're just for information.
section only? So, does anybody wish to talk about any of those? No? We can then move on to it. We don't need a vote, do we now? Item 9, licensing, we have none. Bone mats, we have none. Item 10, sitting out license, we have none. Item 11, we have none. Item 12, traffic calming, none. Item 13, TROs, traffic regulator, we have none. Item 14 is information items. Would anybody like to bring up anything on that? No? Do we have a neighbourhood planning update?
No, we just asked spokesperson, didn't we?
We did ask for an update, but there was no further update following the council meeting held in 4th September.
For information, the last engagement with the public was back in December, January. Have we had the results of that engagement yet, John? Have they been made public? 9 months down the line? Does the committee think that that's acceptable? Because I certainly don't. 9 months to wait for what the answers were to the engagement.
This is for information items only, so.
Yeah, I know.
Questions.
So I'm only passing on further information. Right, we can now go to item 15, emergency items. Does anybody have any emergency? I'm not aware of any.